Hello, welcome back to YachtBuyer 360. Something pretty cool today. This is the Pershing 8X. We are at the Venice Boat Show and it's sitting here looking a bit lonely. So I thought good time to give you guys a 360 tour. If you've not watched a 360 tour before, you are in control of the camera angle. Use your finger if you're on a tablet or a phone, your mouse if you're on a computer, or your control if you're on a TV, and you can change the angle of what you look at. I'm just going to walk through and you can have a look around as I walk you through the boat. But what a great looking boat this is, eh? It's the second largest in the X range. There's a 90 footer, the 9X. This is the 80 footer. It's capable of nearly 50 knots. Absolute speed machine, and it looks the business in that silver colour, doesn't it? Right, let's carry on. We'll start back here because it has got a really cool tender garage, which is big enough to have both a tender and a jet ski. You can get those in side by side, and in fact this whole section lifts up. The transom, the deck down here, the bathing platform lifts up and gives you this huge aperture so you can pull the tender and the jet ski in and out really easily. No hydraulic bathing platform that drops down into the water, but all your toys are all tucked away, because when you're traveling at, cruising speed of 40 odd knots, you want to make sure everything's nice and safe. And big passerelle here on the port side. See, that goes back into the top step when you're on the move. And you can have a closer look at this clamshell. So yeah, whole thing opens up, tuck your toys away in there. Really cool. Now I'm going to head straight up front, I think, because there's people sitting in the saloon. And we'll come back to the cockpit, and we'll come back to the Flybridge, we'll come back to the interior. But we have symmetrical side decks, and one of the things that is really quite sort of iconic from this line is this styling. These wings you have on both sides. The port side one integrates the staircase up to the Flybridge, and the starboard one's just a styling line. But we'll go into that when we head aft later on. Let me just show you this bow area. I'm going to go right to the front so we can look back and have a look up this foredeck. There you go. How about that for a view? It's amazing really that they've integrated the Flybridge. You can barely see it. But there it is, with a sunroof in front as well. And then we come down to the foredeck, which is really more sunbathing space. Big sun pad forward, benches underneath the windscreen, no table, not really a place to dine, it's a place to chill out with a drink. When the boat is moving slowly, this would be a nice place to sit because it gets the breeze. But really, this is when you're stationary, you can sunbathe in real comfort. However, you can put some shade up as well. There's slots in the deck to put some poles in and a canopy up. Really good lounging space for the sun worshippers. There's also a big storage here. You've got big storage voids on either side. There's one on this side, one on the other side, so you can swallow lines and covers. Can all be tucked away nicely. Take a look at that screen as well. What a thing. Let's head aft. We're going to walk underneath this starboard wing. Such a cool piece of design. And we'll carry on upstairs. As the other side, you have steps up to the Flybridge. Works quite well, doesn't it? Really neatly disguised into the portside wing. And then we come up to, well, it's a sun deck really. Not much going on here. Sunbathing space. There's a fridge down there. The GTX range, which is the other range that Pershing has more going on in its Flybridges. There's tables, there's wet bars as well. This is really quite simple. Somewhere to sit, relax, but also somewhere to drive from. Look at that for a Helm. Low slung joystick on one side. That's for slow speed manoeuvring. That will combine the thrusters and also the props, because this is surface drive. They can be a bit fighty at slow speed, so the joystick takes a lot of the thinking out of that. Twin throttles on the other side with 2,600 horsepower beneath each one, and then a view forward over that bow. Simple helm up here, looks great, carbon fibre, silver finish, couple of screens. All you need really, a very stubby windscreen that's not going to protect you much when you're doing 45 knots cruising, But I like that you've got 3 seats here. What a rocket ship. Quite something, eh? Right, back down the steps. And find where's quiet. Incidentally, this side, this hatch here you can see at the bottom of the steps, that's just a bit of storage. But on the starboard side, this has actually got a grill here. There's a grill there. There's a sink there. So you can actually do a bit of cooking back here, next to the cockpit where guests might be sitting. It's quite good. There's a fridge down here as well, underneath this bench. And one of the really nice things about this area is the way this table out here connects to the saloon. So the door slides across and then fully drops down to this bulkhead. So you have this almost unbroken connection between the 2 areas. Really opens up the saloon nicely. You come in, seating on the starboard side, nice big sofa, and that's opposite the TV, which pops up from there. I'll show you that. The TV's in there, makes sense, opposite the sofa. Dining forward, I don't really see many people dining inside on this boat, but I suppose you've got to have it in case the weather's really bad. And the galley is just down these steps. We'll see that later on, it's connected to the crew space. But that makes sense as well for crew movement. Storage on either side. But let's get into the boat good bit, come on. The helm. Look at that. Oh, this is why you buy a Pershing. Proper rocket ship stuff. Like upstairs, joystick, throttles, either side of the centrally mounted helm. You sit high in these chairs, they're fully adjustable. Looking over that bow, look at those screens as well. 2 big Simrad screens at the top, 2 big ones at the bottom. It's got 2 seakeepers. You see the screens down here. So that's gonna keep you nice and steady when the boat's at rest. And just look at that view. These helm seats are gorgeous, adjustable, footrests. You can see down here you've got all the trim for the surface drives. But a lot of that is automated now. They're a lot easier to drive surface drives than they used to be. But just look at it. I love the height of the dash, the single spoke steering wheel. It's amazing. The leather on these chairs smells incredible as well. But the cool thing about this boat, well, there's lots of cool things. One cool thing is you have the Flybridge, but you also have a sunroof. So you get some light down here, you can open it up, ventilate this area, and it all just adds to the theatre of these spaces, all this glass, the curved windscreen. Doesn't it just look fantastic? And then, on the port side, access down to the guest cabins. So the stairway down to the guest accommodation is to port of the helm. I'm going to head forward and we'll finish in the owner's cabin, which is amidships. So moving forward, we have this passageway. And we'll start to port, where there's a twin cabin. These feel a little bit plain. And actually, the decor is a lot brighter than I've seen in many other Pershings. A lot of them are very monochrome. There's a little bit more colour here, which is nice, but can't help thinking those windows could be a bit bigger. There's storage behind this lighter panel for this cabin. TV mounted up there. And this cabin doesn't have an ensuite. On the starboard side, you have another twin and a Pullman berth. For those who don't know what a Pullman berth is, this pulls down and there's another bunk in there. So you can sleep 3 people in this cabin if you want to. Very similar in feel to the one on the other side. Again, you've got your... I want to close that because all that stuff's about to fall out, but you've got a big hang locker there. Again, TV mounted on that bulkhead. But this one is en suite to the day head, which is locked from that side. So I'm going to go around because then I can show you how you get in here from the passageway. The lights on, better. So that is your day head. That's what the guests will use during the day, but it also joins to that twin. Nice size bath in that. Always nice to see the rainfall shower head. Toilet there, sink there, bit of storage underneath. And good to have an opening port, so you can let the steam out when you've had a shower. Right forward, the VIP. And yeah, this colour scheme is, I mean, I've only recently been on the GTX boats, which are very grey and black and dark and moody. This is all a bit brighter, it's quite nice. So VIP, this has a private bathroom, we'll see that in a moment. There's storage underneath the bed. There's hanging storage on both sides. You've got good head heights in here and a skylight. Good for ventilation, good for natural light, because the hull windows aren't huge, but they do have opening sections. There's storage underneath the bed. And if I just push the camera forward, turn it around slowly, you'll see there's a TV here as well. And a really nice private bathroom, as you'd expect of a VIP. Nice shower cubicle here as well. So yeah, really nice cabin that. But let's head amidships, back through this passageway, come to the owner's cabin, down a couple of steps, and you sort of drop down, but then it's a flat floor all the way around this bed. Really nice, this. Well over 6 feet of headroom in here. Big portion of hull window, and look at the size of that TV. Very spacious cabin. There's storage and a bureau over on this side, neatly integrated. I like the detail behind the bed as well, with the backlighting and the strips of mirrored glass. You've also got controls to the blinds, electric blinds throughout, so you can lie in bed and put the blinds up and down, reading lights. And then behind the bed, separating this area from the engine room, you've got a walk-in wardrobe. On the other side, you find the bathroom. And that's a nice space. Love the finish in here, really like this effect behind the sink. Nice big shower cubicle in here as well. It's lovely. So that's the guest accommodation. We've still got to check out the crew space, which comes as a bit of a surprise, and the engine room. Crew space has its own staircase here on the port side of the saloon, but as I said, it's really well connected to the galley. So when you get to the bottom of this staircase, look at that. I mean, the galleys and the windows, it's a bit dark, but it is a decent size. You see the big sink for the induction cooktop, oven, and big American style Siemens fridge freezer with ice maker. Storage underneath, there's a dishwasher here as well. Storage overhead. And this connects directly to the crew mess, so they can use it as well. So we've got a dinette here. TV up on the wall. It's all pretty simple, pretty basic down here. And then there are 2 bunk cabins. One with 2 bunks. One with a single. There's some storage in there as well. Plus, in this one, the option to have a washer and dryer. That's just storage. And then, and what's quite neat, is that down this way, past the dinette, where you find the bathroom, separate shower, we have access to a waterside door to the engine room. Now you can get here from a deck hatch in the cockpit, but this is really good access, so let's step inside. And there we are. Two 2,638 horsepower MTUs. Enormous engines, but still plenty of space in here. See, even though I step down the middle, I have to stoop a bit. I can walk through the centre of the space pretty easily. The two generators are right at the aft end, but easy enough to get to. You also have access to the surface drives from this side. And despite having the tender garage, there really isn't much of an intrusion in here. Really well engineered space. I'll move around to the port side. See the water maker? It's really neat in here. Very easy to see everything. This is the cassette for the passerelle. That slots into there when it's not being used. Switch panel forward. Nice to see things like wandering lights. So you have this light on a cable, so if you really want to get into the bowels of the engine room, you can illuminate it. These are the air conditioning chillers, they're whistling away a little bit. You can probably hear that on the microphone. But certainly for quick inspections, it's easy to get down here, move around. And it's all, in the context of having such big machinery, massive engines. But really, quite pleasant as the engine rooms go, and it's the access that's so nice, having a proper watertight door that you can walk through rather than always having to clamber down a deck hatch. And we'll walk out back through the crew space. You'll see how this connects back to the saloon. There we go. That is the Pershing 8X. Pretty cool, huh? We've actually got a tour of the 9X on our other channel, on the YachtBuyer main channel. So you can have a look at that. We shot that at Fort Lauderdale. And yeah, we've got actually a lot of Pershing content on the other channel, so you can search for Pershing stuff on there. Head to yachtbuyer.com to find out more information on the 8X. Look at deck plans, specs, compare it to its rivals. And if you like this video, please give it a like. Oh, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Jack Haynes. This is YachtBuyer 360.